Hey, it's Donny A. So in a lot of my videos, I keep talking about relative major and relative minor. I want to do a quick video to talk about what that means and what it is. And even if you don't think you want to learn music theory, if you think music theory is stupid, this is something you should know, and it's something that can help you out. So there is theory behind this, but the main thing about relative major and relative minor is that they share the same scale. So all the notes in the scale for the relative major chord and the relative minor are the same notes, which is why you need to understand this. So if you're going to find a relative minor of a major chord, if you have an A major chord, all you have to do is take the A note, which you know is on your low E string, and then go down 3 frets, and you'll be able to find your relative minor. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, and your relative minor is that F sharp minor. So if you know your pentatonic shapes, they start off that form one of your pentatonic, which everybody knows that you can shift positions on. It starts off with your relative minor to your relative major. So it'd be, and then down on your high E string you have it again. And the reason it's important is because it shares the same scale. If you're playing this in a minor chord progression, then you'd think of this as an F sharp minor pentatonic. If you're playing it in a major chord progression, you'd think of it as an A major pentatonic. Or you could obviously be playing this you could obviously be playing the F sharp minor pentatonic scale over major chords or over 7th chords if you're playing the blues or you're playing rock, but they would need to be F sharp minor chords that you're playing over, or F sharp major chords that you're playing over. But the fact that it shares the same scale is very helpful to know, because if you're playing anything in the key of A, you can use that scale. You're playing anything in F sharp, you can use that scale, and you know where to go find it. And it can also help you if you have a chord progression. Like if you had a chord progression that was something like A to E to F sharp minor to D, and you want to know what scale should I use to solo over this, you may not just automatically know that that's an A. It starts off with an A, so you should start there. But if you can figure out, okay, I have an A in here and I have an F sharp minor in here, well, that F sharp minor pentatonic or that A major pentatonic is going to sound good over this. And you don't even need the rest of the theory to know that you're playing the E, which is your 5, and the D, which is your 4. You don't need to know all that if you just know that you have these 2 notes that are relative major and relative minor. Now it's not going to work every time, but it's going to sound good most of the time. And you may not be in the right key. You may not have picked the right key of A, depending if the chord progression's different. But you don't need to worry about that. If you're just trying to find a scale, you can use this to find a scale to solo over, and it's going to work, 80-90% of the time. Another thing, if you're playing through this scale and you got your minor chord, same thing with minor chord, you can always go up 3 frets to find your relative major. Well, when you go up 3 frets on a guitar neck, that's a minor third that you're moving. You're moving a minor third. So knowing that's a minor third, now if you have your F sharp octave right here on the 4th fret of the D string, well, the next note in this scale is a minor third away, and that's your A note. The reason that's helpful is because once you start realizing, okay, this is a minor third, and then you start realizing it can help you start realizing your intervals. So it's helpful to know that this is a minor chord, right? Your F sharp minor is a minor chord. You know you have an F sharp here. Well, a minor third is within a minor chord, so your A is part of your F sharp minor. You could do this with any note on the fretboard. So if you came down here and you took a B note on the 7th fret. So if you wanted that to be your major chord, You go down 3 frets, now you're at G sharp, so your G sharp minor would be linked to your B major. So this can be super helpful because it's going to help you find scales immediately. It can help you start have a basic understanding to start understanding intervals, which are super helpful when you start realizing that the entire guitar neck and all of music is just built off of intervals. So if you can learn intervals around the neck, what a minor third looks like, what a major second looks like, what a major third looks like, then you can start bouncing around the neck a lot easier, which we'll get more into that later on in another lesson. But you definitely need to understand relative major, relative minor. It's a simple concept. It's going to help you find your scales. It's going to help you soloing and just help you become a better guitar player. If you like this lesson, please hit subscribe. Thanks. Talk to you soon.